Matthew Perry really dropped a bombshell today on SHIB, and it seems like every time we talk about SHIB, there's like new stuff to uncover. And that's a good thing in a way. Like, there's tons of content for Shiba Inu. But I do think some YouTubers are frustrated with SHIB also. Like, I think that's also a problem. But it doesn't mean it's over for Shiba Inu. It just means it needs like some massive changes overall with SHIB today. So what's happening, everyone? I'm your host. Hopefully you're all doing good. You're all doing well. We're going to be talking about SHIB and its potential future rises.
Guys, it's Matt here. So this is kind of a rant alert because I'm going to be ranting about Shiba Inu, the ecosystem.
So yeah, he's been talking a lot about Shiba Inu, and some people have been saying, and I just heard rumors, it was just rumors again, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, that Bonk, and I know I show Bonk a lot, I don't hold any Bonk by the way, might be overtaking SHIB because it's doing a lot of this development stuff. It has, now that's one thing that SHIB can't really change, or is trying to change with Shibarium but couldn't do it really, is have cheaper gas fees. So when Shiba Inu was at its bull run, the gas fees were $200 for one single transaction. Ain't nobody paying $200 for a single transaction. So I think that's where the big difference comes in.
Ecosystem dev team, everything that they've done, and just talking about whether we should have already seen Shiba Inu at a level of a penny or a dollar at this moment. So if you don't like these type of videos, feel free to click out now. I'm literally just making this video to talk about.
So it seems like a lot of people agreed with his content because there was about 6,000 views on this rant. And that's a good part, I guess. Like, that's the good part about it. So there is good content overall. Like, there is people that are still staying in Shiba Inu for the long term. All types of, like, honest, like, excitement stuff about it. So I do think SHIB will recover.
About everything that they have done and the fact that we could have seen this at a level of a penny or a dollar. We could have seen this, but it was like a really far shot, because if we saw a penny, we would need like trillions burned, like literally trillions. We would probably need to ask all the whales to burn their supply if we wanted to see 1 cent. And then some people like Paper Hands would actually end up selling at ½ cent, because that would be worth like, so if you hold like $1,000 of SHIB, it would be worth 1 million for each person. Seen the supply that has been completely burned off from all of the things that have been created. So if this is a video that you're interested in, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, make sure you check out any of the links that are down below. It does help out the channel. If you guys want to start trading with Margex, if you want to start trading with up to 25x leverage on SHIB, up to 100x leverage on something like Bitcoin or Ethereum or BNB, feel free to use my link down below for Margex, and you could start trading with this platform. And it's really user-friendly, honestly. So definitely check it out and you know, start trading Shiba.
So it seemed like a lot of people made this are using this platform
New today.
But I want to hear what Matthew Perry has to say. I want to react to like actual content with SHIB, because I know a lot of content creators were actually frustrated with Shiba Inu burns. They were frustrated with everything happening behind SHIB.
Everything was created. Everything that was created. You would say this would be amazing if they were burning SHIB in every single aspect of that. The idea
was that they would burn SHIB everywhere. They would burn SHIB if you do this, if you do that. There would be a bit of SHIB burned, and then you would have like this massive potential of Shiba Inu burns. But it seems like this just wasn't happening in a sense. Like, this just wasn't the thing that people were hoping for. It just did not happen. And I feel like that's where the problem arises.
Behind the SHIB community was to burn down the supply, being able to make money without actually being able to get to a penny. Like, people have made money. They made what was it, $8,000 to like $5.2 billion. Some people have made money. People have made millions of dollars, and they've made hundreds of thousands or anything like that. They've made a lot of money. As Shiba Inu, you know, rose to this higher level, and, you know, being up millions of %. So with that being said, there were people that made money, but there's also that end goal of where this can get to in the end. And, you know, decreasing that supply and getting to the actual level of a penny, or getting to the actual level of.
Yeah, I agree with him. It was like more of an idea also, like to burn Shiba Inu to a penny, but it's still a decent idea. And I think that's what a lot of people are excited about, like the idea of SHIB actually making a huge standby, the idea of SHIB coming back and saying, hey, I want to do a huge burn.
$1 or $2 or $10 or $100, right? I'm not saying that that was within my mind, like, oh, we're going to get to $100 per coin with Shiba Inu, but it definitely wasn't completely out of the realm of possibility. I feel like there's still a 0.001% chance that.
So there's a chance we get to $1, but with this like development we have right now, it's way too slow. So a lot of people are in a way giving up with SHIB. Like, why would they do the Shiba Inu burns? It just doesn't make sense for them. And I think this is where the real problem arises for everyone holding Shiba Inu. So that's the problematic part I'm seeing right now with SHIB. Like, people, why would they just hold SHIB? They don't have any reason to.
That it could happen, right? We could see burns. So when I first got into Shiba Inu and saw the opportunity.
So yeah, Matthew Perry, the reason why I react to his videos and watch him is because he's been in Shiba Inu the same time as me. So 2021 is where people really got excited for SHIB, where people really started talking about SHIB, where it got 46 billion volume. And now it's like 46 times less. Now it's like 300 million volume on a normal day. But at peak, it was like 46 billion. Everyone was talking about SHIB. And I feel like that's where the major crypto growth came from, like major Shiba Inu holders. And now it's just like left the whales that haven't sold and basically like investors who bought at a loss. And it's a fair scenario, you know?
In Shiba Inu, I saw the community first. I didn't see this dev team. I saw the community first. And the community was all about looking at that burn that Vitalik did and trying to mirror that at a smaller scale, but then collectively at a larger scale. That was really the mindset, was to basically do another 40% burn, or burn off another, I don't know, 400 trillion coins, or even more than that, by just having the community do that and make that impact.
Exactly. So they wanted like to say, oh, the community should burn the tokens, but a lot of the funding, a lot of the money was from the Shiba Inu dev team. And they said, oh, the community should like make incentives to make these burns. And they did, but it wasn't nearly enough. It was maybe like 20K, 10K there, 10K here. There was like a lot of drama in that as well. Like there was like a lot of people pocketing 100K USD, things like that. They really made a lot of money and they like burned all their bridges. I remember there were like a lot of people leaving SHIB a while after. And to me, it was very concerning, like in that sense. Like a lot of people didn't talk about what actually went on in the crypto industry. Like these are the big differences.
And to see Shiba Inu get up to multiple billions of dollars worth of a market cap, tens of billions of dollars, damn near what, $60 billion market cap is insane for something that really doesn't have any value besides investors being able to benefit.
That's true. Like it didn't really do anything that much for a lot of these holders. And I think that's where the big difference comes in, like where a lot of people were concerned really
from it and make money from it. Now, this community that was built around it, that was trying to build this use case, or build these use cases, were trying to follow a plan to implement all of these other things that didn't really have a breakdown as to what they should do. But in my mind, I was thinking that every single thing that would be implemented would burn SHIB. If we saw every...
Exactly. So this is a very fair point. Like the community did some projects like SHIB Burn, Shiba Inu Game, Shiba Inu Store. They did like some small projects, but they don't really make that much of an impact in a crypto sense. Like they won't burn like trillions that we need to see. But if the Shiba Inu team did say, we're opening a restaurant and we're going to be burning like 1% of all profit, we're going to open up a Shiba swap and we're going to burn 1% of all profit. They just didn't care about it. And I think that's where the real problem arises. Like people didn't care. Like the people working at Shiba Inu, they weren't that much worried about this. So I think this is where the real problem became, in that sense, like where people became concerned.
Single thing that they have built, burn SHIB, we would be at a level of a penny. We would be at a level of $1.
Exactly. If they made like Shiba Swap NFTs, Shiboshi's NFTs like would burn 10%. Like let's say they would make Shiboshi NFTs, they would say the game would burn 1% of all the revenue. And what happened with the Shiba Inu NFT sales? Like a lot of that probably went for the game that still hasn't released. So that's one thing. And it makes sense. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know what went on. And I think that's the big difference, like why people are frustrated. Like they don't know what really happened. And that's fine too. Like nothing is perfect. Shiba Inu isn't perfect, but it makes a very fair sense that the Shiba Inu is seeing right now like some concern. It's seeing some concern, and this concern might not break Shiba Inu, but it's gonna definitely make an impact.
We might even be higher than that. The reason why is because it would create a huge impact, not only to see the price rise, but also the market cap and interest rise, the FOMO, fear of missing out within.
Exactly. I think that's where the real like Shiba Inu holders come in, like that FOMO. I think that's what really keeps people at bay, keeps people excited in a sense. Like that's the real awesome stuff about it. Like FOMO is what really keeps people hyped up about the project. And I do think there's a possibility that SHIB will rise in the next following days, but the real thing is like how can the community solve this in a sense. So I'll keep you guys updated with more stuff on that also. Like
the position would rise to an all-time high. You look at things that they've launched, right? Bone has seen multiple hundreds of millions of dollars that have gone into that position. Multiple hundreds of millions of dollars.
And they didn't burn much bone in that sense. Like not a lot of bone was burned. And I think that's where people became frustrated in a way. Like that was a big problem for them in a sense.
Leash, probably tens of millions, maybe even multiple hundreds of millions that have gone into that as well. You've seen the metaverse lands that have sold for multiple millions as well. You see Shiboshis that has sold for whatever they sold for. I think they were like, what, 1 ETH a piece or something? I may be wrong. I didn't really fully get into that. But you're looking at that. Then you're looking at the partnership with John Richmond, partnership with Wellies. And if you could have implemented some sort of burn within there.
He has a fair point. Like if they even did small parts, I think that would help a lot, but nothing really changed in that sense. Like they didn't make any changes in that scenario. And I think that's where people got seriously frustrated with SHIB, where Shiba Inu came for a downturn, really. So that's the thing I'm also kind of frustrated with Shiba Inu.
That would have also had an impact on SHIB. SHIB would have consistently been like this the whole time. Maybe we wouldn't have been at a level of a penny because of the fear of missing out as you see all the burning opportunity. But if they would have supported every single level, if they would have just done research into not trying to take control of every situation, but saw, hey, this coffee company is burning.
So that's like pushing it out, promoting it. They just like said, okay, we're going to focus on our own stuff. And there's going to be some side fan-made projects that we're not really going to be, focusing on that at all. I think this is where the big problem arises.
Let's go ahead and support what they're doing and push it out and let people believe that this is a part of this ecosystem. Because it is, right? It's the community. That's what it should have been. You look at
That's a very fair point. Like this is where a lot of people stayed around and where a lot of people also left in that sense. Like where they left Shiba Inu because they didn't want to stay and they were kind of worried.
Gaming and all of the gaming should have been adopted as well, as a source to burn, as a source to use SHIB, as a source to whatever. The YouTube channels that were pushing SHIB and continuously pushing SHIB, continuously talking about it and trying to even burn SHIB, which now you can't do because if you farm views, you get banned from YouTube.
So yeah, I didn't understand this part he said.
If you farm views, you get banned from YouTube. But either way, you were trying to do something to help out Shiba Inu. That would have been...
So I guess you can't make, like, if we reach 1,000 likes on this video, I'll burn Shiba Inu. Like, I guess that can't be done. And that's problematic, but it makes sense.
Just light years ahead of things. There were coins that were created that are trying to burn off SHIB.
Now, that's the big importance about it.
By the impact. And if that was something that was supported by the team, I understand how, things go south with a lot of those things. But the reason why they go south, the reason why things get into...
I definitely think Shiba Inu, with the hype it had, with the potential it had, it could have made many development changes, but it took the easy route. Like, that's the difference. Like, the burns could have helped, or maybe they felt that the burns didn't help the price that much as people expected. I remember them talking like, yeah, burns are good, but they don't really help the prices that much. And I think that's also where the issue arose. Like, they didn't really want to do anything with these burns. They didn't want to keep them updated. They didn't want to talk about them. Nothing. Like, they just didn't care in that sense. And I think this is where the difference came off.
To sticky situations is because they're not adopted by the community. They're not supported. You see all of the negativity. When people see down times, they resort to desperate measures. And I'm not saying that anything that anybody did is right. But the point is that when you get neglected, you start going, okay, well, I don't need this community anyways. The community doesn't want me, so why do I?
Exactly. Like, so they end up, like, everyone that was working on SHIB, they ended up giving up. And I think that was the real problem. Like, they just didn't care about Shiba Inu. So I feel like that was worrying in a sense for a lot of people. And what I do see with SHIB is it does have room for improvement. It does have lots of different changes. It does have, like, an opportunity, but we need to see it. We need to see it arise.
I need to support this community when you have people in the community that do want to support it, but you have it split, right? Where the ecosystem dev team are like, no, we don't want this out there and we think it's a scam, and you call it a scam. Well, now 80% of the community says no, 20% of the community says yes. And then you have to kind of fight for that 80% when...
Exactly. So I think the community was also very diverse. Like, it was very toxic environment for a lot of people. Like, that was the big problem. Like, a lot of people didn't want to stay in with the project so far. Like, why would they? There was no point for them. And I think that's where, like, the real possibility came out.
Every single day, you're like, no, 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 no. So it's creating a very, very difficult path for you moving forward. Now that 20% has dwindled down to 18, has dwindled down to 15, has dwindled down to 10, because the community doesn't have the support for those things. Even things like SHIB Burn, who is just going out of their way to display every single burn, to display a website.
So yeah, they, like, all the people that were developing the Shiba Inu, like, backend, they didn't get much support, and I kind of agree with that. And I know a lot of people, they left the community. Some people got even the bag, and they just left. And Matthew Perry makes a very strong message here. He talks what he wants to talk about. He talks about the community first. He doesn't care about other things other than the community. And that's the big important factor. Like, if the community is fine, everything else is fine. If the community is not fine, well, that's a big problem, right? So this is the big problem over here that we are seeing with crypto, with everything that's going on right now. So I'll keep you guys updated.
If we would have seen every single aspect of what they